number of Malaysians who were visiting Japan when the country was hit by twin earthquake and tsunami disasters on Friday were glad that they have been able to return home. Bernama Editor-in-Chief Dato' Yong Soo Hyong was among the first group of Malaysians to fly out of Japan since the disaster struck. The group arrived at the Kuala Lumpur International Airport here at 4:15 p.m. on Sunday on board Malaysian Airlines flight from Narita Airport, Tokyo. Besides Yong, who was in Tokyo on an assignment, the group also included 13 engineering students from the Skudai campus of University Technology Malaysia and their lecturer who made a study trip. Yong says he's glad to return home and express his amazement at the level of discipline shown by the Japanese despite the horrendous disasters.
The thing that we can learn from this, the Japanese are very disciplined in the sense that after the disaster, the people in Tokyo were very disciplined. They were queuing up for buses, they were queuing up for taxis and all that. So this is one thing that we should learn. There was no panic because probably they have these regular drills and all that. So, but walking past buildings that were half constructed were very scary because there were still these aftershocks. Yes, of course, you at that time you can't do much, because you're just hoping that God will save your life. You're hoping that things do not get worse, because even they themselves, the Japanese themselves are lost for an answer because a quake of this magnitude hadn't struck them before. This is the biggest quake in 100 years.
For Puvanis Varinanjapa, the experience shook her.
We to Tokyo and we are in the 9th floor. Suddenly, the meeting was almost finishing. And when we were about to give the souvenir, then suddenly the entire building was moving. And I told my colleague, basically he was talking to the client and said, Rama, something is happening. So he just kept quiet and he continued the conversation. And then it got worse. The wall was moving, the table was shaking, the books were falling off. And apparently he said that the TV was moving towards me, but he didn't want to tell me because he was afraid that I get panic and then I will start shouting or something like that. But apparently it stopped after that. And then we were asked to go down. We wanted to take a cab to go back to our hotel, but the subway were down. Everything was down totally. And traffic was very bad. We were 2 hours in the taxi. And we did not reach our destination yet, so what we told the taxi driver, stop, we'll walk towards the hotel. Then when we reached the hotel, we still felt the vibration, so what we thought is just pack and go down to the lobby and get a cab straight, go to the airport. Yes. We are really happy to be back home, seriously.
Her business partner, Ramakrishnan Damodaran, says it was an eye-opening experience and not to take earthquake lightly, but this will not stop him from going back to Japan.
We were given mineral water and some biscuits to eat at the airport. That's it. We were there for 3 days and with no shower. Since Friday. So Friday we arrived Saturday morning, literally. Yeah, I supposed to give another talk in September. No. The earthquake was nothing. I mean, for me, that was a bit exciting. First time I'm feeling the earthquake. So I don't feel that as a problem. But the aftermath was a bit difficult. A lot of aftershocks. Of course, the reactor issue. One of the reactor totally collapsed, at least the building. So there were reports that radiations some residents are being exposed to. So the Japanese, apparently the Japanese government has evacuated people from the 20 kilometers radius around the reactor. But I was talking to a person who's researching on this particular issue. He said that you have to people around 150 kilometers radius will be exposed. And Tokyo was about 170 kilometers from the epicenter.
A group of Japanese tourists were also seen at the arrival hall but were reluctant to speak when approached.